Always get catching up with my next guest, Josh Hill, who's finally got a big fight coming up here. He's going to be taking on UFC vet Erik Perez at Bellator 244 on August 21st. Josh, how's it going, man?
I'm good, buddy. How you doing?
Doing well. Good to see you get this fight. We'll talk about that in a second. But first, I wanted to chat with a guy that I know you've trained with before in the past. I know not recently, but TJ Laramie getting that UFC contract. It must be pretty cool to see another Canadian get a big opportunity here, especially winning the contract last night.
Yeah, it's good to see. Ever since I first trained with those guys, I knew that they would, do big things in this sport. Now, to have that much skill set at that young of age, I knew it was just a matter of time. And, I'm happy to see it. He's a good kid, and he's very skilled, so I think he'll do very well.
And some other people I know, Aaron Jeffrey, he's got a fight coming up here soon. We got Jasmine fighting for CFFC at the time we're recording this tonight. So it's really cool to see a lot of, Ontario fighters get opportunities like this. And one of the cool things I like about this Bellator card is you're actually fighting with two Canadians yourself, Julia Budd and Lance Gibson Jr. I don't know if you're aware of that or not, but that's kind of cool. They're getting more Canadian talent out there.
Yeah. I've never met either of them. Obviously, I've heard of them just through this and them being with Bellator and whatnot. So it was pretty cool to have three Canadians on the same card.
What was the excitement level getting to fight Erik Perez? Because everyone knows who he is. He was one of those guys that left the UFC. I think they were kind of like, why did they release him? And now he's with Bellator. Really big opportunity here. Yeah,
it was great. My manager texted me and just said, Erik Perez, August 21st, and I was ecstatic. He's definitely a big name. A really well-rounded guy. He actually left the UFC on like a 3-fight win streak, which is pretty rare to see that happen. And then he went to Combate and had a couple fights there, and then he came over to Bellator. But this is definitely a good fight, a big fight for me. He's a big name, very well known, and he'll be a big win for me, definitely.
There's always pressure going into a fight, but he was sort of considered like a marquee signing for them, and he lost his debut. Toby Misak, see you later. He finished him in that fight. Do you like being in this spot where like those in the know, like myself and everyone else who's followed your career, know how dangerous you are? Especially that, go look at your first fight against Marlon Moraes, who's one of the best in the world. That was a very close fight. You can compete with the high level. Do you like the spot you're in here, where Perez has got all the pressure? He's got to win here. Otherwise, it's going to look like a bad investment. And conversely, for you, you had an opportunity here to take out a UFC vet.
Yeah, for sure. I think, he had that was a big upset. I don't think that was, he was definitely the favorite in that fight, but, anything can happen. So he's coming off a loss. So I know that, he doesn't want to go 0-2 in the promotion. And I'm coming off, my first Bellator fight, and it's a win. So he's going to come out guns a-blazing, I'm assuming. He's going to try and put me away. But, it's unfortunate for him that they matched him up with me after a loss in Bellator, because I'm a tough fight for anybody in that division, and I think this fight is a great second fight in the company, because it's a big name, and I think this will propel me, a win over Perez will propel me into that upper top 5 guys in the division, and probably close to a number 1 contender fight.
Yeah, the bantamweight division is so hot in Bellator right now. I think this is such an important fight for it. When did you find out about the matchup? I don't know if you knew the date, maybe you didn't know the opponent. When did you actually find out? Because it seemed like this card, it seems like all their cards with the pandemic going on, they're kind of being announced at the last minute.
Yeah. They always wait a little bit, a while until they actually announce everything. But I think I found out I was about 5 weeks out.
Nice.
But I was already training. I was actually out in Alpha Male in California. I went out there just because all the gyms around here were closed for so long, and I was just kind of going nuts, and I had to train, and I knew they were open, so I went out there and just started training, and I got the text to fight Perez on the 21st, so I was ecstatic. I was already in good shape, but I had more than enough time, and I feel beyond ready right now.
How was it to go back to Alpha Male, and who'd you get to work with over there? They got a lot of obviously standout fighters in your division.
Yeah, no, it's always been good to go out there. I've been going out there since I think it was 2013 or 14, so I've been going out there for a while. But it's always good to go out there to work with Cody. It's good, usually Feely, but he was coming off an injury. But Song is another guy that he's a enormous bantamweight and a beast. So working with him is always good. Benito Lopez. There's a whole bunch of guys out there, and every time I go, it's just awesome, and working with guys like Holdsworth and Uriah and all them. So it's always good.
What about back home? How's things looking at Parabellum with obviously COVID restrictions and everything? What type of camp have you had there leading into this fight?
It's actually, I was kind of worried about that. I was actually thinking about staying out in California the whole time, but it would have been like over 2 months away from my family and everything here. So, but luckily, a lot of the guys here are, like you mentioned, Jeffries is fighting, Jazz, Romero. So everybody's kind of back to training, at least all the pro and the Emmy guys. So I had plenty of training partners for this one. So it's been good.
One of the other guys I know you've trained with before, Jesse Ronson, finally got his first UFC win. How cool was that after, having some tough luck the first go around and him beating a welterweight? He's more of a lightweight. I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's good for him. It was good to see. He's had 0-3 in the UFC, all like decisions, and then went to PFL and didn't have much luck there either of those two fights. So it was good to see him finally get a win in a big promotion, and well deserving. He's been around even longer than I have. He's an old cat too. So it was good to see him get that win and then get a bonus too. So it's the perseverance paid off.
Yeah, no, it's really cool. On that same note, who's going to be cornering you for this fight, especially with the fact that you had about 5 weeks to find out?
Lyndon Whitlock, he's he's my coach, but we've been friends since grade 5, and we actually started training together. So we've been coming up this whole sport all the way from the beginning. So really nobody knows me better than him. And actually he's got a busy month. He's got
right
Anthony
now he's
Romero
in Miami.
Yeah, he's in Miami with Jeffries, and then he's coming right to Connecticut for me, and then he's going right to Vegas for Romero. So, and then I guess back home to quarantine. So he's going to be MIA for about 5 weeks.
How good of a coach is he? I've talked to so many guys at Parabellum, and they just rave about his coaching skill. It almost seems like natural for him. What's it been like, being friends with him as long as you have, from the fighter to now the coach?
Yeah. I was kind of, once he retired, I was like, kind of selfishly, like I liked it because now I could actually utilize him as a coach, and that's what he's doing now full time. I loved seeing him fight as well. But he's I think that suits him well. He's very hard-headed and very brash, which is a good thing, I think, especially in this racket. He's not like a cheerleader. He'll tell you exactly what's wrong, what you did wrong, and what you need to work on, and he'll also give you praise as well. So yeah, he's been at it for I think like 5 years now as a coach. So, and he's getting better and better, and yeah, like I said, we know each other, so well. So it's there's nobody better to have in my corner for sure.
How's the weight cut going ahead of this fight? 5 weeks, I'm sure, pretty manageable.
Oh yeah, man. I mean, bantamweight for me, it's easy, to be honest. I've got it down. That's why I've contemplated going down to 25 numerous times, just because I've seen some of the guys that I've trained with that do fight at flyweight. Some of them walk around, more bigger than I am. But I feel really strong at 35 still. I feel really fast. So I guess if it's not broken, don't fix it type thing. But I feel good. Weight cut's easy, and it'll be another easy one this time.
How's this fight playing out on August 21st?
This is a good one, man. I think it'll be an exciting fight just because Perez is the type of guy, he's that, Mexican slugger mentality. He's always coming forward, and he's always in your face swinging. And I'm a more, cerebral fighter. I like to move a lot, create angles. I like to mix up my takedowns. So I think this is going to be an interesting fight, but I see me beating him everywhere, to be honest. I think I'm going to be the faster, more athletic, more explosive guy. I think if I do land on him, I'm going to put him to sleep. But I could also, see myself submitting him on the ground as well, or just, being dominant for 3 rounds. So I'm prepared wherever this fight goes, however it ends. I can only see myself winning.
If you get a win here, especially a finish, that'll be two in a row in Bellator. The bantamweight division's kind of wide open. At the very top, we've got, obviously, it looks like they're going to do Archuleta and Patchy Mix for the vacant title. You still got Horiguchi whenever he comes back. You've got Ricky Bandejas, who lost. We got Pettis, who just beat him. Where do you see yourself fitting in there? Because I think there's a lot of fun matchups ahead for you, especially if you get the W. Yeah,
the bantamweight division is stacked. You know what I mean? I'm obviously biased, but I think it's like probably the best division in the world right now. But it's you got Mix and Archuleta, and then whoever wins that, I'm assuming that's for the title. And then you got Pettis, who they're saying is the number 1 contender, so it looks like he's fighting the winner of whoever that is. And then beyond that, I think if I win against Perez, I think that puts me pretty much in a number 1 contender spot against somebody else. There's guys like you said, Horiguchi, there's Bandejas, there's Ruffian Stotts, that Casbell that he beat. There's tons of bantamweights. So anybody that will be give me that number one contender fight to get a shot at the title. But right now I'm focusing on Perez, and he's the priority.
And we're looking forward to it, man. It's coming up here August 21st. It is Bellator 244. Josh, great to see you get this fight, man. I'm excited for it. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, the floor is yours.
Yeah, social media at Gentleman J Hill, Instagram and Twitter. And yeah, just all my sponsors for this one. Perfect Sports, my supplement company, Sucker Punch, my management, Liuna, CHL Construction, Sheath, Tip Top Towing. I don't want to forget anybody, but and just all my team, my family, my training partners, my coaches, everybody that's been helping me out through this one. I'm excited, and I can't wait to get in there, my man.